Thinking about moving to Suffolk, Virginia? Well, before you pack your bags, I want to make sure you know the truth. Suffolk may not be for everyone. And while there may be many upsides, there could be a few select downsides that make you think that Suffolk may not be the ideal area for you to move to. But I want you to watch this video all the way to the end because this last con that I'm going to discuss with you in this video could impact you the most. So, whether it's long commutes, or whether it's about lifestyle and entertainment, or simply about flooding or infrastructure and more, there could be a lot of reasons why you should not move to Suffolk, Virginia. And we're going to break it down in this video. So let's get after it right after this. Welcome back to the Moving to Norfolk channel where we talk about everything that's going on in the Hampton Roads market. And in this video, we're going to be discussing everything that's going on in Suffolk, Virginia. So if you're looking to move to Suffolk, Virginia, we want to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so that way you can be the first to learn about everything that's going on in Suffolk, Virginia. Now, we get phone calls and text messages from viewers like you each and every day who are looking to make that move to Suffolk, Virginia, and I love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days or whether you're moving in 90 days, we're ready to help you make a smooth move to Suffolk, Virginia. So I want to encourage you to go ahead and give us a call, shoot us a text, write us an email, or even book on our calendar with a video call as well too by using that link down in the description below. And we look forward to helping you make that smooth move to Suffolk, Virginia. Suffolk is the largest city in Virginia by land area, so what comes with that is rural charm, waterfront homes, and new construction as well too. Now you can also find affordable housing, scenic views, as well as a slower pace of life compared to the other cities in the 757 like Virginia Beach and Chesapeake, for example. But no place is perfect, so Suffolk also has its challenges, and we want to discuss some of those challenges that you may face while thinking about moving to Suffolk, Virginia. And we're going to start with the first one for sure out of the gate that everyone seems to have a complaint about, and that's going to be with the commute times. One of the biggest complaints about Suffolk is far from everything. Because Suffolk is so spread out, driving anywhere takes longer than you think. If you work in Norfolk, Virginia Beach, or Newport News, be ready for a 45-minute to an hour-long commute, sometimes even longer in rush hour traffic. If you're moving here for work, make sure you check the drive times before committing to a home. Okay, so let's talk about some of these commute times that I think will be really prevalent to your commute times if you decide to move to Suffolk, Virginia. Because you got to think about it. Suffolk is really divided into three parts. You have West Suffolk, you have Central Suffolk, and then you have North Suffolk. So if we're talking about the west part of Suffolk, you're talking about going down to 58 back towards this way, Kipper Shores, West, Manning Road area, back this way, which has some ideal areas as well. But this portion of Suffolk is West Suffolk down by Lakeland High School. Then you have Central Suffolk, which is more so centralized around Godwin Boulevard and North Main Street, which is this area right here with West Haven Lakes involved here. And then you have the northern part of Suffolk, which is going towards Wilroy and driving all the way up to Harborview. So this could be your northern part of Suffolk as well, leading over to Crittenton a bit on the 17. Now, what I want you to think about is when you're looking at these commute times, depending on where you're staying at, you could be anywhere from 25 to 45-minute worth of commute, depending on where your location you're going to. For example, if you're leaving Suffolk and you're heading towards Chesapeake, you got about a 20 to 25-minute commute. If you're looking to go to Greenbrier or Deep Creek area, it's about a 15-minute commute. Greenbrier is about a 25-minute commute, which that's going to be where your Greenbrier Mall is, things of that nature. If you're going to West Chesapeake, Western Branch area, you're about a 10-minute commute, depends on what location that you're living in inside of Suffolk. Now, if you're in Western Suffolk, that could be about a 15 to 25-minute commute, just depending on traffic for that day. Now, if you're also talking about Central or Northern Suffolk, you could be heading into Norfolk, going through via the Portsmouth Downtown Tunnel, or even the Midtown Tunnel. You could be talking about a 25 to 30-minute commute depending on traffic. Now, if there's heavy traffic that day, you could be looking at about a 30 to 35-minute commute to get to through the Downtown Tunnel to Norfolk, or even the Midtown Tunnel again to Norfolk. But that Midtown Tunnel usually is not bagged up as heavy as the Downtown Tunnel. That's one of the most least traveled tunnels in our area. But you still can have that location where you're going about 25 to 30 minutes just to get to this area of Hampton Boulevard to get to where you want to go. Now, if you're going to Virginia Beach from Suffolk, you could be looking at somewhere between a 35 to 40-minute commute, depending on what location you're going to in Virginia Beach. Now, if you're heading out to Mount Trashmore off of Independence Boulevard, you can see that's about a 35-minute commute, 30 to 35-minute commute. But then if you're also heading down to the ocean front, you could be looking at about a 40 to 45-minute commute in this area right here down on Atlantic Boulevard. Now, what else can also happen is if you're going to Little Creek to Naval, the Joint Base Fort Story, Little Creek, you could be looking at about a 30-minute commute as well too, because you have travel down Northampton Boulevard once you get over to the 264 interchange and heading towards the base, and you'll split off here on the 64 heading towards Fort Story, and that is about a 35-minute commute at the most. Okay, so really and truly, commutes are some of the things that you really want to take into effect while you're going through it. And I really want to make sure you understand that commute times are going to be very variable because of the ebbs and flows of traffic. And if there's rain of any sort, then you really could be dealing with traffic. If you're heading towards Newport News, which we didn't really talk about, if you're looking at it going towards Newport News, if you're in Suffolk as well too, thinking about traveling from Suffolk towards actually going to the Norfolk Newport News shipyard, if you want to be assigned in this area, you're looking at about a 20 to 25-minute commute depending on what location you live in. But the 664 does not really get packed up that much, but it does have frequent stops for heavier payloads of 18-wheelers going through that tunnel. And in some cases, it also has where there's a backup in the tunnel, where there's an accident in the tunnel that pauses all traffic because there's only 2 lanes going towards Newport News and 2 lanes coming back from Newport News, where you can actually get through that tunnel. So if there's an accident in the tunnel, to clear that accident, they have to halt all the traffic on that side of the lanes of where the traffic is at that had the accident. And that could be a backup, and that could lead to sometimes a 35 to 40 minutes additional traffic time that's on your commute as well too. Now, if you're going towards the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel for some odd reason, which you're going from Suffolk, I would always recommend take the James River Bridge or Newport News if you're going towards Hampton or Newport News, because that traffic is going to be way lighter than the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel traffic. And I think that's going to make your commute a lot more pleasant than otherwise. The Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel traffic is going through major upgrades to facilitate all the heavy traffic that goes through that area. And really and truly right now, the average commute time over there in that area is about 35 to 45 minutes just leaving Norfolk to Hampton Roads. Hampton itself, I'm sorry. And if you're looking at that commute times as what it is, you want to make sure that you take that into account as well too. So when it comes to number two would be limited shopping, dining, and entertainment in Suffolk. Now, I know a lot of people may not find this as a drawback, but sometimes if you're that type of consumer who wants to have everything conveniently at their doorstep or within a short commute of their doorstep, Suffolk kind of lacks some of the options that you may want to look for from the big box retailers. So if you're looking for local dining, local shopping, local big entertainment feel in a city, it would be lacking some of those activities. You will have to travel to certain cities like Norfolk, Virginia Beach, and Chesapeake, or even Hampton in a lot of cases, to find the type of dining and restaurant style living that you'll want to have around you. So if you're up for the commute that we just talked about as number one, I mean, you can actually find a lot of things that's inconveniently to you. But convenience wise, you're going to find smaller mom and pop stores, smaller strip malls of sorts, and you're going to find a lack of things missing, especially if you're living in central and western Suffolk. If you're living in the northern part of Suffolk, you have Harborview that have a lot more of those opportunities, like bigger shopping mall, bigger strip malls, than sorts. But for the most part, you're going to have to travel to Western Branch, which is going to be your local community that you'll be able to get to very conveniently, that has the Chesapeake Square Mall area that you can take advantage of. If you're going across the Monitor Merrimack Bridge Tunnel or the 17, you can find areas in Newport News and Hampton that are going to be a lot more convenient as well for those items as well too for shopping, dining, and restaurants. But realistically, you're going to have to go to Norfolk if you want to find the outlet mall, or if you want to head over to Virginia Beach, where you can go over to Lynn Haven Mall as well. That's where you're going to find some of your more big box retailers that's going to be able to accommodate some of the things that you're looking for. So hopefully, as the infrastructure builds out in Suffolk, we start to see some of that pile into the local area. But right now, Suffolk does not provide those opportunities that you may be looking for. And that right now could be a turnoff to a lot of individuals who may be looking for that convenient hustle and bustle lifestyle when they want it, but also want to pull back from it when they need to. Suffolk is going to leave you unplugged in a lot of ways if you're desiring that type of accountability. So let's head over to number 3 as well. Number 3 is going to be school zones. We're going to talk about how school district concerns could probably be an issue for a lot of individuals here. You got to think about it. Suffolk is actually, like I said, the largest city in Virginia by land mass, and it only has 3 high school districts. So you have Lakeland High School, Nasman River High School, and Kings Fork High School. So when I think about school zones and you have these 3 schools in the biggest land mass city in Virginia, and that's all that you have, I feel like that's going to leave a lot of actual opportunity untapped just yet. So I think when it comes to school zones, like we always talk about, you want to make sure if you're looking at the graders of school zones like niche.com, greatschools.org, you want to take those with a grain of salt. You really want to do your own due diligence. You always want to do your own research to understand what those schools specialize in the most and what they provide. Elementary and middle schools as well too, they take those into account because a lot of those school systems are actually based around those high school districts, and they are doing some great things as well in the community. And I think it's really prevalent as parents that if you're going to be managing your kids going to these schools, that you understand what's going on. And there is privatized schools in the local area of Suffolk, so you may want to also research those as well too, see if there's grants, or even if you just want to plug your kids into those schools. I think that's always going to be up on a case-by-case basis what schools offer. And even if they're some of the best schools in the area, you still can find concerns with those. So that's why I think that's one on the onus should always be on understanding exactly what that school provides and how does that accommodate and fit your kids' needs from their style of learning that they have, and take it from there. But school district concerns could be number 3 here, where you may want to take that into consideration as the reason why you may not want to move to Suffolk, Virginia. So let's hop in over to number 4. Number 4 could be growth and development. I think growth and development is going to be huge as we talk about infrastructure going forward when it comes to Suffolk. One of the major things that we're seeing is that roads and highways are still needing to be expanded, or they're not big enough to accommodate all the traffic that you're seeing. Now, as we also talk about growth and development as well too, you want to minimize traffic delays, and you're going to see ongoing construction in Suffolk, because right now Suffolk is trying to expand. If you have not yet seen our everything that you need to know about Suffolk, Virginia video, we'll leave a link down below in the description where we talk about all the things that's planned out for Suffolk heading into 2045. They've outlined their 20-year update to where they think they want to be at by 2045, and a lot of that is centered around growth. Now, I think a lot of constituents in the local area of Suffolk will find pause with some of those things as well too. But I do think that over time you will see that city grow, and it will start to be more popular of an area to be in as expansion continues to grow. As we talk about new construction homes, you're starting to see minimum waterfront lots available. All these things are going to take place in this city, and that's going to lead to more money needed to be pumped into the city, and new revenue sources coming in as well too, to take advantage of the resources that Suffolk will provide. So as that continues to happen, you're going to see growth and development take place, as we're still seeing bigger communities still coming to the area. Now, there's starting to be a little bit more of these master plan communities coming into Suffolk, and where these master plan communities are starting to be developed at means that you need to direct more resources to those areas. And with new resources coming into the area, you got to expect that more money is going to follow into it from a commercial sense, where you want to see that actually prosper and grow in the city. So we'll see if Suffolk will continue to demand that local commercial growth and take advantage of it as well to expand the city. And a lot of people have a pause with this though, because really and truly Virginia Beach grew rapidly, and a lot of individuals didn't like how fast Virginia Beach grew. And then the same thing happened with Chesapeake from those who moved from Virginia Beach to Chesapeake. And now we're looking at Suffolk growing, and Suffolk is trying to take that small, medium pace of build of growth versus the rapid growth of secession, and see where that really lies into, and try to maintain the historical value that they see in the city that has grew over the years. So we'll see if that continues to play out as traditional sense. And let's head on over to number 5. So number 5 is going to be flooding and storm risk. I think this is really and truly one of the major things that a lot of people care about in today's world. When it comes to flooding, flood insurance used to not be so expensive, but now with so many natural disasters happening across the United States, you have to take into the account homeowners insurance, and in some cases you have to take into account flood insurance as well too, depending on where you're living at. It's not so ever so often that I hear a client always ask me about, well, is this home located in a flood zone? And Suffolk is centered around some of the high risk flood zones in our area. So when you have waterfront living in a community, you run the opportunity risk of dealing with flood zones areas as well too, because that means that at some points the land mass is going to be susceptible to flooding. So Suffolk has certain parts of the city where it will flood more often than not. So you want to take that into consideration. This is why it's good to always have an agent who understands how to look up flood maps, keep you plugged in on where you're looking at a home in a certain area, to keep you aware if it's in a flood zone or if it's not. Because I mean, that could make the difference in the payment by $200 to $300 in certain cases, and you want to be aware of that. And then you also want to make sure that you're not at risk of having your flood insurance actually ever pulled from you. One of the good things that I've seen lately is that if a homeowner who's selling their property has flood insurance, it's usually one of those flood insurance policies where flood insurance could be assumed. And when the flood insurance can be assumed, that makes it where if you can't get a better policy than the homeowner's original policy, then you can end up with at least the same policy that the homeowner had with the same payment, as long as you qualify for it, obviously. And that could ease some of the pain that you may feel when it comes to home insurance, when it comes to getting flood insurance as well. So I always think about it. Make sure you know where the FEMA flood maps are at. Make sure you understand that your agent gives you the best up-to-date information that they have based on those FEMA flood maps, and looking at what the neighborhood may offer when it comes to flooding as well too. So I think that is one of the most critical things to take into consideration, especially in this new world that we live in, where flood insurance policies are not as sticky as they were before, and they're definitely getting a higher premium than they were before as well too. So always take into account what is going on with flood insurance. So those are my 5 concerns when it comes to Suffolk, and those are going to be my cons that I want to make sure that you understood when it's time to move to Suffolk, Virginia. So what do you think? Is Suffolk the right place for you? If it is, let's have a conversation. Even if it's not, let's have a conversation about what could be some of the drawbacks that you see in Suffolk, and let's see if we can find the perfect match for you. Like I said before, if you're looking to move in 9 days, or whether you're looking to move in 90 days, we're ready to assist you and help you make that smooth move to Suffolk, Virginia by using any of the links down in the description below, or enter the contact information that you see down there as well. So if you found value in this content, definitely hit us with a like, because they let us know to continue to make content just like this. Or go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well too, so that way we know that we need to continue to bring you well brought out content just like this when it centers around Suffolk, Virginia. We look forward to catching you in the next video. Y'all stay safe. Peace.